what you been up to the last 4 years?
I've been having a lot of fun, spending more time with my family. That's the most important thing. When you're in Congress for 10 years, you spend a lot of time away from home. And I have kids who are in their teens, and I wanted to make sure I spent some more time with them and got to see them in all their activities. But I've also been teaching a little bit. I spent some time at the University of Chicago.
What do you teach?
I taught an extracurricular course as a fellow on libertarianism.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed that. And I've had a chance to write, so I've been doing a lot of writing. I've been traveling a lot and giving speeches. So I've had a variety of things I've been working on, but the most important thing to me the past few years was spending time with my family, because I always figured I would get back into politics at some point, but did want to spend some time with them.
So that leads me to my next question. The narrative around this is that you're joining an already crowded field of GOP candidates. Why now? What did you see that told you you needed to get in this race and you wanted to try and get back to Washington?
Well, it is a crowded field, but most of the contenders aren't real contenders, in my opinion. I think most of them aren't really up to the task. And even the person who's lauded as the top contender right now, which would be Mike Rogers, I think is not a very strong contender. And I believe he's going to fall in the polls as this goes on. He has a very weak record. I have a very strong record on the issues that Republican primary voters care about. And I think as this campaign goes on, I'm going to have the ability to consolidate a lot of the Republican primary vote. But then also, I am confident that I am the strongest candidate in the general election. And if you want someone who can take on the Democratic candidate, if you're a Republican voter out there and you want someone who can take on Alyssa Slotkin, then I'm the person to do it. I believe I can pull the most Democratic votes from her. I can pull the most independent votes. And at the same time, I will be the most principled, consistent, constitutional conservative in the race.
I can't help but go back to the last congressional race that West Michigan saw. In that, Peter Meyer lost to Gibbs, who then lost to Skolton. How do you differentiate yourself from potentially competing against Mike Rogers in the primary and then a Democrat in November in West Michigan, where Nikki Haley in this last primary got 27% of the vote to Donald Trump?
Well, I've always been an extremely strong candidate in West Michigan. In all the years that I ran here, I outperformed Republicans up and down the ballot. I was consistently the top vote getter on the ballot. So I believe I can get the votes here in the area. I believe I can get votes in other parts of the state. I think what people want is someone who will listen to them, someone who respects them. I held a lot of town halls that were open to the public. People could come in and talk to me about any issues they wanted to talk about. And even though my voting record, my positions are very libertarian, very constitutionally conservative, very fiscally conservative, I was the best on spending, in cutting spending, of any member of Congress during my tenure, despite the fact that people would view me as pretty conservative, like as far as members of Congress go, maybe the most conservative member of Congress. I was able to win over Democrats and independents, and I think I can take that to this race.
Got it. The Republican Party is looking for consistency. It's been a bit of a mess here in the state and both nationally. You've talked about always and making it clear that you've always run as a libertarian, but near the end of your last term, what kind of confidence does that give voters when your dedication to the Republican Party has wavered?
Well, I've never been dedicated to a party. I think it's wrong to be dedicated to a party. I'm dedicated to the voters. I'm dedicated to the principles I believe in. I'm dedicated to the Constitution. And at the end of the day, when you look at someone you're going to vote for, I don't think you should focus on the party label. The party label is sometimes a convenient shortcut, but it doesn't always tell the whole story. And you have a lot of members of Congress who are Republicans and who are Democrats who vote very much the same way. I actually think Alyssa Slotkin and Mike Rogers vote very, very much the same way on a lot of issues people care about, and they vote the wrong way. Whereas I will bring an independent, libertarian streak to things, and I don't focus on whether I'm a Republican or a Democrat or anything else. Because the truth is, you don't need to worry about party labels. You need to worry about the candidate that you send to Congress.
You still have voters who are very much Republican. How do you get those voters?
Well, when I served in Congress as a representative, people knew that I did not focus on the party label. And again, I would win these contests with very large margins and did very well with Republican voters. So I'm not worried about that.
Okay. In a state where you talked about the issues just now, and so that will lead me to this question. In a state where reproductive rights are now a part of the Constitution, how do you represent pro-life Michiganders now in Washington?
Well, I think that things have to happen at the state level. So I would encourage people to work on state legislative solutions for those of us who are pro-life to address this issue. At the federal level, there are certainly some things we can do. I think when you talk about, abortion up to the point of birth, I think people get really concerned in the late stages about how that's not a good thing. And so for those of us who are pro-life, there are things we can look at the federal level, but I believe that primarily this should be handled at the state level. I don't think that you should be trying to dictate, especially at the earliest stages at the federal level, how to handle this issue. And I say that as a person who's an Orthodox Christian and 100% pro-life.
So let's then talk about things at the federal level that you might be able to tackle. President Biden and Trump are both at the border right now, blaming each other for the crisis. Where do you place blame on how things have devolved on the southern border?
Well, I have to blame both parties, obviously, because this is a problem that's been going on for a long time. It wasn't completely resolved under President Trump, as people like to claim. There were migrant crossings happening quite a bit under President Trump, and they're happening to an extreme degree now under President Biden. There are laws on the books, and we should follow those laws. When American citizens return to this country from other places, they're stopped at the border and asked questions, and yet now you see people streaming in with no questions asked. So this is a matter of enforcement, and I don't think the Biden administration has done a very good job at all. They've done a terrible job on enforcement. And at the same time, if we can improve the enforcement at the border, I think we'll have the opportunity then to improve our immigration system. I'm a big believer in immigration. My parents are immigrants. So I think that you should have legal immigration to this country, but people are not going to buy into legal immigration. American citizens are not going to buy into allowing more legal immigration while you have the border wide open and everyone can walk in without even a question.
You're the third former U.S. representative that's now in this field. Why you over the other Republican candidates like former Representatives Mike Rogers and Peter Meijer, who also voted to impeach President Trump?
I think we have to look at the overall voting records, not just one vote, not just a few votes. And when you look at the overall voting record, I am the most aligned candidate with Republican primary voters, but also with general election voters. This is sometimes hard for people to relate to in our modern polarized political world, where you see the two sides in Congress and Washington, and they're at each other's throats, and you think, maybe they really do have vastly different positions. But actually, a lot of the things that they vote on of substance and of significance, you have Republicans joining with Democrats and voting the same way. And that's true of the candidates in this field, where if you look at the voting records, you see that they're actually not that different from each other. As I have mentioned many times, and will continue over the course of this campaign to mention, Alyssa Slotkin and Mike Rogers vote the same way on a number of issues. And so you have to look at the overall voting record. There's only one person in this race who's going to follow the Constitution every time, who will vote to cut spending all the time, who will vote to decrease the debt, who will insist that we read the bills and that members of Congress can participate in the process, who's going to oppose the Patriot Act and FISA 702 and oppose a digital currency, a digital dollar which can be used to control people. So I'm the candidate who will bring those positions to this race. I've voted on those issues in a way that reflects the principles I'm talking about. A lot of people can go out and say they're independent or different or whatever, but at the end of the day, we have voting records. You can look at the voting records and you can see where I stand. And so whatever you might think of my position on any one individual issue, if you look at the overall voting record, you're going to see that I'm far and away the most constitutionally conservative person in this race.
It's almost a sure thing at this point. Do you plan on supporting the Republican nominee for president, whoever it is?
So I will support the actions of the president if he agrees with me and if I agree with him, and I'll challenge the president if I disagree with the president.
Prior to the election,
That will be the same thing prior to the election. If we have a nominee who's saying things I disagree with, I'm willing to say that I disagree. If we have a nominee who's saying things I agree with, I will definitely say that I agree with the person. I don't give my allegiance completely to any one person. I think that would be wrong to do. My job is to represent the people of my community. In this race, it's the people of the state of Michigan. And I will never turn over that responsibility to any one person. That would be wrong to do. So I will be supportive of any nominee when they're doing the right things, and I'm happy to disagree with them when they're doing the wrong thing. We can all debate about how we disagree, and that's a fine debate to have, like how you conduct yourself, how you approach different issues. I will sit down with anyone and talk to them about the issues if they want to talk to me about it. So I'm an easy person to deal with in that respect. But if you don't want to talk to me about it that way, then I have no problem talking about it out loud in the public.
So I guess I asked an open-ended kind of question. I'll be more plain here. Do you plan on supporting Donald Trump as the Republican nominee for president?
So who I vote for will be my personal decision. Okay. Who I endorse will not likely be anyone for president. And the reason is that I barely endorse anyone for any position. I mean, I don't typically endorse politicians. I don't even endorse my friends. The standard for me to endorse someone is really high. So I'm not focused on endorsements or who I'm going to vote for. I'm going to focus on their actions, and when they do the right thing, I'm going to support them, and when they do the wrong thing, I'll challenge them.
In this last primary, more than 100,000 Democrats voted uncommitted as a protest vote of President Biden's response to the war in Israel. There's debate in Congress over sending aid to Israel. How will you handle this issue? And I know there's context in your own personal life to what's happening.
So it's a complex issue, obviously. Mm-hmm. I believe that U.S. aid should not go to countries that are engaged in offensive military operations. I don't think we should get involved in that way without a declaration of war from our Congress. We are making the mistake time and again throughout the world of providing aid, offensive military aid to countries, and pretending like we're not then a part of the conflict. We are a part of the conflict when we do that. So we have to be sensible about this, have a debate in front of Congress. If you want to be a part of a war, you go to Congress and you get a declaration of war. If you don't want to do that, then you can't supply them with weapons and funding. With that said, we need to use our leverage as a country. We have leverage. We have leverage with Israel. We have leverage with countries in the region. And these countries are often on different sides of issues. And we should use that leverage to say, look, if we're going to provide you with weapons, if we're going to provide you with funding, then we expect it to be handled in this way. And I feel like right now you have a president in Biden who says, send everything over there, whether it's to Ukraine or to Israel, send everything overseas. And then at the same time he says, it's not our responsibility, they decide how to handle everything. And you can't have it both ways. You can't say, send foreign countries our resources, our military weapons, and then say, oh, well, we don't care how they use them. So I feel very strongly about that. We've got to go to Congress and represent the people.
And it's fair to say that that's your blanket belief over that policy.
And that's true for every conflict in the world, yes.
Does your personal life carry any weight in that decision as it regards to the war in Israel and Palestine?
Well, the honest answer is no. I mean, like, I'm a libertarian. I believe in following the rule of law. I believe in following the Constitution. And whether I have relatives overseas or not, this is how I would conduct myself. And this is the belief I have. And so I think for those, since we're talking about it, for those who don't know, I have relatives who were killed in Gaza, Orthodox Christian relatives who were killed by an Israeli airstrike. But that doesn't dictate my policy. My policy is based on my principles. It's based on the Constitution. And I believe in the same policy, whether it applies to the Israel-Gaza conflict, Russia-Ukraine, or any other conflict. We are involved in so many places overseas, and we too often have presidents in both parties who say, keep sending money, keep sending weapons, keep sending stuff, fuel these wars, but then act like it's not our responsibility and Congress doesn't have to take a stand on whether we're a part of the war, other than to send money and weapons over there.
I think that's it. The only other question I was going to ask, if there are other issues on top of mind for you right now that you would look forward to tackling once you get back in Washington.
To me, the most important issue is our process. How does the Senate function? When I was in the House of Representatives, this was a major issue for me too. How did Congress function? How did the Speaker of the House function? Our Senate needs to be an open place where people can deliberate. It's supposed to be the greatest body of deliberation in the whole world. And yet, too often, you have leaders, whether it's Chuck Schumer or Mitch McConnell, telling everyone how they're going to vote, working in a back room, coming up with legislation and saying, take it or leave it. And they're doing it right now. And that has to come to an end. We need our senators to be able to come to the Senate floor, offer amendments, have a full debate, and represent the people back home. Because all the issues that people at home care about, if you don't have senators and representatives who can stand up for you, then you don't have real representation. It doesn't matter how you feel about that issue. It won't matter what you tell your senator to do, because that senator doesn't have the power. So we need to make sure our senators and representatives are empowered to represent people back home.